Orgless.
Orgless?
I'll go with Orgless, but for first map, I reckon we will be seeing something across the lines of like 7-5, 7-4.
You reckon it's going to be a closer one towards
Yeah.
SiNister? Okay, okay. So SiNister do have a chance to close this out and possibly push it to a third.
Could be, yeah. But they will need to get this map on board straight away, because second map being coastline, things would not look all well.
Now, this is just a strange fact for you. 3 games today have all started out on Clubhouse. So, I mean, it's, you know, it's just something to take away. Not really. It's absolutely nothing. So, heading into this one, we got the two bands coming out with Maverick and Thermite. So, some hard breaches now off. That makes this game very interesting. I can see that look on your... No one else can see that look on your face, but I can.
Yeah, that is the face of me being interestingly confused, and oh my goodness, the bamboozling just continues. Smoke is off the board now.
Jeez, these are some interesting bands coming through. I mean, fair enough. Who's this last band gonna be? If we've followed this theory, what do you reckon?
Valkyrie.
Valk? You reckon we'll leave in the Mirror, leave in the Echo?
Yes, I do think that we will be having... Actually, no, Echo... Neither! Neither will be. It will be tired.
Oh, man. That's probably the most interesting set of bands I've seen in the past 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, this is by far one of the most controversial ones, I'd have to say. As 3 out of 4 bands were completely unpredicted.
Yep.
And the way how things are shaping up, this will be a very much of a spicy matchup, and I'm not even too sure in which favor this will be at this point.
Yeah, no, this is sure to be an absolute banger. So there we go. We're going to see Bandit, Valk, Echo, Jaeger, and Legion being picked up. Ooh, an IQ. Ooh, this could be very fun. They're going to bring in the Monty as well. What are your thoughts on this lineup?
Well, the IQ choice is definitely going to work very well for SiNister, considering the fact that it is played by Copper, who was quite an efficient one on IQ. On the side of Orgless, it feels like the Jackal pick spooked them off, because the moment that 6 pick came in, Imorin swapped out from Bandit to a Maestro, meaning no more roaming, at least for him, and he will be playing a much more anchor-heavy position. And the rest of the roster seeming to be coming around that position as well. So maybe Ethan, maybe Diesel, but that's about it. The rest of the roster seeming to be prompting to initially go for very much of a safe play.
This is going to be quite painful for the defending side, considering IQ is going to be brought in, because does she... that unique little primary that she's got will absolutely destroy half of the utility that's going to be brought into this round for now anyway. So let's see what they've got to take through this one. Obviously the attacking side with the Monty. What are we expecting so far from that?
Well, with Monty, it means they might be going for a duo push, say Blue Tunnel and the main stairs, and Monty will be the one spearheading the main stairs, as that is the biggest biggest choke point for the offense to get through. So if they manage to get past that, that could be where they would be able to play it out. But it seems that the breach was actually denied on the kitchen. I'm not too sure just yet. We'll find that out very soon. But if it was, then things could be working out quite well to start off for Orgless.
Ooh, okay, just a nice little angle. We'll be able to find Modo. Some sprays going through toward B bomb site. And as you said, there's Blue Stairs Blue Hall starting to be capitalized on from Monty. But they are just going to hold tight for 2 minutes and wait for the rest of SiNister to get into position.
I'm quite confused as to why is Copper only now making his way over. He should be the one on the front line as well to be assisting with the push, as Fisho is trying to bait in that peak maybe for Copper to go for that push, but it seems that poor Monty player is just getting bullied left, right, and center.
And if that's, I'm not sure whether that was Legion that was sitting across toward blue, but if it is, that's going to be a pain in the backside for that Monty trying to push on through. But Luna, so far, taking a lot of control. Copper just giving some information as to where the positioning of the utility might be. Flashes to come on through, but it is just going to bait it out. Vicious backs away. Monty now making short use of the ADSs. So down comes Monty. Fisher guy not wasting any time, but Ethan actually manages to find the kill. Now peeking wildly into Memorial. Doesn't find the kill just yet, but nice overall start for the defensive side. 30 seconds on the clock. Things are about to get hot and heavy in here.
Indeed, we're just about to see a flurry of kills to come out with 20 seconds left to go. Not a whole lot of good ground gained by SiNister. Things might get cut off pretty quickly. Well, seconds and counting. Luna will be the one spearheading. Vicious getting the better of Ethan and Neo. A whole lot of kills for SiNister, but just like that, Echo, Depe is still around. The plant should be going down, as the plant will be going down. Depe will be able to deny it, and Orglis, just like that from the dirt tunnel, will be able to finish it off. Nicely done by the Pro League team.
Yeah, definitely nice to deny that plant right at the last second with the Echo, taking their time. So with that, first round into the hands of Orglis. And SiNister is still going to bring that Monty. Nope, there we go. Gridlock will be picked up instead. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Gridlock so far has seen quite a variable success, seeing as on Clubhouse she didn't see a whole lot of action, and just like that, Official will be the one who will be bringing in Monty once again. And Neophyter's read on that would also work out pretty well. But yeah, Gridlock, personally, I still feel that Pro League teams are not fully gotten the full grasp of how to properly utilize her, but I do see some potential in her.
Alrighty, so on the back of that Echo deny, it will give the first round, of course, for the comfort. Now this being SiNister's pick, probably not the start that they would have wanted exactly, but that's okay. You live and you learn.
Yeah, well, SiNister did prove to be quite a able team to be able to train and adapt, so maybe this will be the upcoming rounds maybe will be a bit more confident for them, considering the fact that they are versing what is considered to be the top team in their group for Six Masters.
Right, some drywall work being done. The plasterer has been purchased. Diesel with the shotgun, but not really wasting any time here. SiNister starting to get a lot of control toward Garage. However, Fisher guy just backs away for a second. They will be able to drone on through. It's Derpe who's holding, and this is just going to be a royal pain in the backside. As long as he can hold on to this position and delay that push to come through. Could be a little bit tilting.
It could be indeed, with Ethan already taking a little bit of a punishment. And Depe holding the angle, he will need to be extra cautious. The whole setup that Orglis have, it does seem to be quite able to deny that. The SiNister will be meanwhile dousing the plant with a couple explosives and flashbangs.
Ooh, that's Neophyter taking initial contact onto Luna, which they can't punish him for. Not even HP have been punished, but at this point, just baiting it out, just slowing this push down. What can Derpe do in this position? Neophyter re-peaks, and that's going to be the... Well, that's a bit of disrespect. Fisher guy thinking he had the opportunity to find the kill, and Derpe, well, he reads it like an absolute champ. And now, a 2 versus 5 with only Hibana and IQ up for SiNister. It looks like a second round on the board for Orglis.
Certainly seems like it is not a whole lot of options for Vicious and Copper, as Vicious gets already pre-fired by the Maestro, played by Derpe. And not a whole lot of meaningful ground, like Monkey Fist would love to say, has been gained by the attacking team. That is a nice disposal.
Do they have one more denial left? I don't think so. So that is definitely... Oh. Okay. They did?
Yeah, I think that did it. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't hear anything, so that would assume that Emo had one more left, and the job of SiNister just went from hard to near on impossible.
Indeed, as the C4 is now being prepped to throw it as well. Derpe holding a fantastic pixel angle from that shield, should be able to deny it quite well as Vicious gets the better of Neo, but Emo at the end managing to close it out as Bandit. They're doing some quality work on the squad of SiNister.
Yeah, Emo Rin really putting in the work there, making their money's worth. So now we do head to gym and bedroom. So far, so good. Successfully taken the basement and cash CTV. They're still really picking this Monty. They're not really backing away. So doubling down on their strategy. This time Sledge will come in. Capitao as well. Thatcher will accompany Habana.
It's, to a certain degree, quite interesting, the fact that they, like you said, are sticking to Monty pick quite frequently, but maybe it's one of those strats that they're just trying to force on every side until they will eventually give up on it.
Yep. There's every chance for that, so may as well just... I guess it's the point where you look at it and you go, is it worth continuing with this? This is something we've practiced. Do we double down on it, or do we, refer back? And I feel if this is something you've been working on, or this is something you're used to, doubling down on it is probably the best way to go. So it's been a good defense so far for Auglis, which I mean that's what we expected. We didn't expect anything less.
Yeah. Yeah, well, with Auglis, they did have a couple of really shaky performances before, but it's seeming that they are getting back to their former glory, you could say, to a certain extent, quite quickly.
Yeah.
Albeit that the loss of Joey did force them to move around some roles within the team, but it seems to have still keeping quite a good dynamic within it.
I feel it's always about how you can adapt and move, right? Especially in a game like Rainbow Six that is quite complicated. So the name of the game is being able to do that, which it seems that they've done to perfection. And now Thatcher's just going to use the breaching charge to open up in towards CCTV. But talking about doubling down on Montang, they are doubling down in toward Cash right now. They're not allowing them to have any free access, but, well, that might be a slight little problem for Auglis.
Correct, but that Echo Drone should be able to force the Monty out of his comfort zone, as he did take quite a chunky amount of punishment, and even a C4, whilst being fully extended, could deal substantial enough damage to down him.
Nice little angle now taken into Cash. And of course is going to put quite a bit of pressure back onto that defending side, but they're holding strong, and was looking to get a little bit aggressive for a second. That might be the end of Neofighter, which it is. Nicely done from Copper and Ethan as well. Oh, that is not the kind of mistake you want to be making in Cash. So very nicely executed from the defending, or rather attacking side of SiNister, as they lose complete control of the western side.
Yeah, for now, the next hurdle of being the construction side will be up on the shoulders of Emo, as Derpe just continues to blast off his Alda onto one of the attackers. So for now, if they manage to catch off a couple of the attackers off guard, it's going to definitely work quite well, as Imorin does manage to find finally the shot onto Monty. So that is the shield player off the board, and an amazing breach denial as well by Imorin at the end.
Now coming down to the wire. 40 seconds left. And Imorin can just sit there. He's been a huge player so far. Of course, the castle barricades do work both ways. Will make it harder for them to hold into gym, but they can, of course, just rip that down and give them easier access. Echo, what can he get done? Just waiting for the players to push on into the corners. 20 seconds left. Time is ticking. And the defenders might actually be able to double down on these sites.
Well, for now, Imorin holding a very eloquent angle will be able to keep holding on his own, as that asphyxiating bolt was completely missed, as just that is a wipe
That is...
by Orgulus.
That so dirty, man.
Yeah, that was no remorse whatsoever.
None at all. And that positioning from Imorin was only possible because of that breach deny before, like you touched on. Huge to make that work. Otherwise, Imorin might even have to completely reposition. And then all of a sudden, Jim's not being held, and you don't pick up your third round of the 3 versus 5. Nicely done. Positioning so damn good. And SiNister, well, what do they have to bring into this one? Doesn't look like they're really going to change anything from their previous assault. Rather, we are going back down to Church and Arsenal, which was oh so successful for that defending side first time around. There we go. That's the change that maybe we need to see here, Cthulhu.
Most definitely. Lion, even after his rework, has been quite a formidable opponent to verse against. And looking at the scoreboard really quickly, Diesel and Emo leading the charge for August, whereas on the side of SiNister, it's not looking all swell.
Not at all. Really struggling to get the kills on the board there. And I mean, look, it's got to be said, a 3 versus 5 toward the end there. You know, it's all about forced errors, right? And they might have made a certain error in making a call toward the gym site, but it's all capitalized on from Orgulus. So now they're going to have to definitely find a round in amongst here on SiNister. But the way that Orgulus are playing have pretty much been the don't argue, you know, the big don't argue in rugby, just the hand out, the push and the run. It's looking pretty good.
We'll definitely have to agree with you on that, as while we watching the start of the action phase unveil, SiNister will be taking once again the same default control of the bar and kitchen, whereas Fisher Guy might be that big wild card if he manages to use his utility quite right, which being his E1D, if he launches it whilst the Hibana charges will be going off, he will be able to catch maybe a couple of people on rotation.
So once again, Luna not really wasting any time and starting to take control of those staircases. That should be the hatch well and truly open, so Neophyter going to find himself in a bit of a pickle in a second, but deploys a second ADS for the support. Why not? If it's there, you may as well. He's getting droned out by Copper, who will lose the drone in which he once had. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure he'll be happy to do so to gain that sort of information.
I'm curious to see how will Neophyter actually play it out, because he still has one more of the ADS devices, and Neo's taken up quite a chunky amount of damage. Woo! There's a nice push by Copper, forcing Neo out of his comfort zone. But just like that, Imorin actually manages to down Vicious, but not fully confirm the kill. Nice crossfire once again by Copper. He's securing another one. This definitely looks like a round that could be taken by SiNister. Finally, as the E1D is definitely hurting the defense of Orgulus.
That's right. 45 seconds left. I mean, what realistically can they get done here on Orgulus? They did have Hibana down, but she has been picked back up, so that's going to be a slight little problem. Imorin just watching on the pixel angle, of course. Straight into Memorial. They've lost control of blue, so they now need to play for the back side. Can double down from this position. Ethan does have the support. Here comes the maybe initial contact, but not just yet. They're still biding their time. 20 seconds left. Cthulhu, this is where it all happens.
Indeed it is, as the goo mines are starting to come in. There's the spray down by Emo, but the Copper will be able to trade him out straight away. There's another peek by Derpy and Ethan as well. 2 versus 2, the time is running low. The Echo Drone is once again still there. He will be able to deny it, and there he goes. The plant is once again getting attempted to get denied. The echo drone just gets stuck. Ethan can't connect the shot. The plant is going down as Ethan finally manages to find the head onto Copper. All up to Vicious on also little amount of health. Even a slight breath will be taking him down.
Yeah, surely not going to be able to get anything done. Ethan coming in from behind, and that is a very nice round. Again, what a 3 versus 5. I think that was a 3 versus 5 once again, and SiNister not being able to capitalize on it. These are really hurting them. They're in massively advantageous positions, but they just can't execute at the right time, at the right point. And look, Auglis are doing an incredible job of holding. There's no denying that.
Indeed, yeah. And I do also want to point out is the fact how Auglis playing is they always have the plan B.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we saw Neo playing on Rome. We saw, I believe that was Diesel playing on the Bandit. The moment they lost this Rome, they still had 2 to 3 people who are also anchoring and ready to fire off as a separate squad.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what separates between them and between Auglis and a whole lot of current ANZ teams, is that Auglis keep on playing and planning for both plan A and plan B, whereas a whole lot of teams just playing, yeah, we lost a whole lot of our players, well, now we'll need to freestyle and improvise.
So they do, this time they actually don't take the Jaeger in, which was swapped out as 6-pick for Maestro, and this time Copper's going to be running the Monty instead of Fisher guys, so maybe getting pushed aside and told, nope, it's my turn now.
Well, Copper is the captain and I believe the IGL of the team. To chat, please do correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
You know
probably
that
a whole lot of people know the story way better than me. It would make sense for Copper to play on Monty, as he would be the one to be able to coordinate all the attacks while still being in a relative safety of the Montane shield.
Alrighty, action phase now fully underway, and for SiNister, they've really quite struggled to connect these rounds, and it's now starting to cost them big time. Of course, they do have so much intel gathering on the side of the big boys.
I gotta point out that Imorin went out of his absolute way to go and deny that Hibana breach as well, which could have opened up the angle onto the window at that catwalk. Because with that now completely denied, this will force SiNister to push through that door, which Derpe can hold very well, including the fact that he has the Echo Drone there as well to disrupt.
And oh, so close. Was not even half a second in it, and maybe some damage. Maybe not the kill to come through, but definitely some damage. There's those bolts that we talk about so much coming through from Capital.
I think Capital was actually able to still get that arrow through, funnily enough, through that small hole in the wall. And if that was the case, that would be quite an amazing spectacle to witness. But now Derp might need to be playing a bit of a more careful game, as 3 players are actually converging on that position.
This could be huge right now. He does actually back away to the elbow. All of Catwalk just being taken down. A little bit the pre-fires coming through from Derpe. Lucky to be alive on the receiving end of that, I must say. As now slowly but surely taking their way up, and that is going to be even further annoyance, and they still haven't been able to find the Yokai drone. Oh, and he's still holding him off! The problem is they're so separated right now that even if they try to come through, they need to be able to find this angle, and, well, I believe he's still up, and he's doing well so far, but that's going to be the takedown. Dropped, and no. Still holding. No. What? I thought he was down.
Just continuing to just break dance on the floor, just dodging all the bullets and just going for the biggest brains of the plays, as Imoren just will be able to get the better of Arnie, but Copper finally does manage to get the better of Derp. So all up to Emo and Diesel, once again the explosive duo of Auglis.
I was just about to say, you better believe they're going to be able to do it, but now Imorin, who's had a huge impact so far, looking to deny that bomb plan, and might be able to as well, of course. Oh, no, that's a little bit unfortunate. And coming back through from Cash, a 1v3 when Monty's still up and can pretty much just sit in front. This is going to be incredibly hard. Nope, Fisher guy, my word, that was a little bit too close for comfort. But first round on the board for SiNister. And it's only
up to
taken
4
5.
rounds, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only taken 5, yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this could still be a good start for SiNister if they manage to pull themselves back in. As Clubhouse, like we saw throughout the whole other matchups today, is a very defender-sided map. So, for now, they need to yoink themselves at least 1 more point.
Yeah.
For, like, just a little bit of that confidence boost.
Yeah, they need to be able to send it once it comes to that second half.
Yeah,
I'm a firm believer in that. They need to. They need that room to move because when you get into the second half, if you've only got 2 rounds on the board, well, I suppose it's not bad. If you've got 1 round on the board, it's you've got realistically no kind of safety net. However, 2 will definitely give you the room to even just try 2 different things. So. Let's wait and see what they've got for us. It is going to be the last round of the defending side. And Jaeger will be replaced back on the squad.
Indeed, as I do also want to point out the fact that how flexible the whole Orgless squad is. If you noticed, before it was Derpe playing as Echo before. He was on the first round, he was playing as Maestro. This time it's Diesel on Maestro, Neo on Legion, and Ethan on the Jaeger. Before it was Neo on Jaeger as well on the downstairs hole. They have an amazing ability. Like I believe 3 out of those 5 players are full-on flex players, and they are ready to play whatever, whichever, whenever. So every time it amuses me, honestly, and seeing as they also are able to kind of adapt to how SiNister push, they now bring in a Legion against the Monty. It's definitely a pretty sight to witness.
Again, they are going to be looking to come through from that garage door with Copper leading the charge. So what kind of effect will that have? So small little line again. This is what we... So that's what we saw in the previous round.
Oh boy, Arnie.
Oh, hot and heavy. Get out. This time not so successful. Ooh!
Yeah, not at all. As that is spicy by Imorin. The maestro of the breach denial is there and ready to deny even further as he has 3 more batteries. Yep. This time Diesel is all prepped and ready with Neofighter as well. Not before though, as before Arnie will be able to take him out from... Was that the same hole in the wall?
I hope not. I hope not, because that would have been filthy. I don't... Oh! Get deleted, Diesel! I thought that was going to be the play. They were looking like, once they took that Monty down, I was like, they're going to have a real hard time here. But no. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was Fisher pressing delete this button. Instantly deletes poor Diesel. And it's once again up to 2 players of Orgless. This time it's Derpe and Emo against a 4-man stack of SiNister. Fully healthy, by the way.
Look, out of two players on Orgless right now, these guys seem to be feeling pretty damn confident with it all. Just not going to be able to hit an Emo. Rin hits a nice shot onto Vicious.
Oh my.
Nasty.
That's nasty. But on the topic of nastiness, it is now a 2 versus 3 with the Derpe now reallocating all of his Echo drones to give out as much information as possible. Imorin once again continuing to just wreak havoc to Team SiNister as Luna is now going down. So it's all up to Arnie and Fisho. And, it still could work out, but both of them are around garage level and things are not going to look pretty.
No, Emo Rin's been absolutely monstrous. And there we go again. There's the triple kill. 1 more to add for the quad. Just staying alive long enough to be a nuisance. And of course, they can deny that bomb plant with the Echo. Fisher guy can't even get through the hole. And that is how the 6th and final round for the first half is going to end. 5-1. Another 2 versus 4 What?
I'm just. Well, this is Orgulus that we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Orgulus, and man, I mean, they continue to amaze me personally on a continuous basis. Those guys are trained that it is impossible to stop. They had that grace period of when they were making a switch from Joey to Neofighter.
Mm-hmm.
Now it feels like a full-on upgrade, honestly. Although, not to take away from Joey's previous accomplishments, that man was absolutely nuts. Smoke SMG11.
Mm-hmm.
So this one it's a slight change around, rather more a, to a certain even degree, a throwback to the old Orgulus days back when they were Atletico.
Okay. Well, there's Emo Rin, and that was pretty much... I'm so hype around him right now because he's had some monstrous plays so far. I just want to touch on in that first half. Third round, 3v5. Fourth round, 3v5. Sixth round, 2v4. 3 times Orgulus converted with a 2-man disadvantage. Huh?
Yeah, that's Emorin. That's Orgulus. It's just they're that nuts. That's all I can say, really, Medic. Because every time, well, okay, not every time, pardon. A fair few times you see Orgulus play, there's a pretty solid chance that they're going to win one way or another. With SiNister, if SiNister can outplay Orgulus on the map picks, that is a whole different theory and a whole different field. And even the community poll was saying quite a similar thing.
Yep.
It was 75 for Orgulus, leaving 25% for SiNister. So it's still, well, you could say better than nothing, but for my gauge, that is still somewhat big for the underdog team, rather.
Massive.
Well, no, not massive, but yeah, it's out there. It's indecent. Could have been more, though. Probably for SiNister, but nonetheless, could have, should have, did. But either way, return back to the site to the game at hand, though. I'm quite curious to see how will Emo perform, because the most iconic duo within that squad, Emorin and Buck with a suppressed C8.
Mm-hmm.
That was putting people on tilt ever since the inception of Pro League in ANZ.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm pretty sure, yeah, the C8 is unsuppressed, but Emo is a fantastic player on Buck. And yeah, it's just it's a statement. Like he was also a while ago considered one of the best, if not the best player in ANZ, and I can tell you that straight away. Even by the current gauge, he's still one of the best players.
Doesn't surprise me at all. That is a really nice little duo combo there between Capital and Habana to ensure that they get that free breach. So nicely done to pick that one up, as now they're starting to make a little bit more progression. Derpe getting a lot of information in towards Blue and Church. And Orgulus might look to adapt to that as well. Diesel with a nice angle straight through on... Oh, that is so damn close. Of course, also that Habana breach does work 2 ways, so you do need to obviously be careful at that point.
Correct. As Neofighter will be now making a backdoor breach very soon. He will be, unfortunately, face tanking a goo mine straight to his face, but will be pulling it out of his ankle. And Copper will be actually forced out of his position, but we'll get down to the process. Derp already drops down as Neofighter gets blue on blue team shot. As now the push will be starting to happen. Oh! Fijo with a big plays. Will be getting the better double kill for himself. It is a 2v2. The time is running low. The time needs to happen. Fisher guy will be able to deny that, and just like that, SiNister get the win on their first defense on Church.
Always the problem with time management, isn't it? And nicely done from Arnie as well, just to bait that player into Memorial, who had the bomb down, mind you. So that was always going to be an uphill battle for Orgulus once that kind of 5-second mark hit. And some nice placement on the flank that came through to shut that player down that was headed toward Church. Now, giving themselves a little bit more room to move, we head to CCTV with a Doc, a Maestro, a Mute, a Bandit, a Jaeger. Interesting.
Interesting indeed. CCTV and cash room is now in effect. Arnie bringing in a dog, so that is straight away a giveaway that this will be the person holding the garage. Whereas the rest of Team SiNister potentially might be just going in for the anchor plays, potentially around the construction / bedroom, but maybe it is a brick brain play somewhere hidden out there.
Well. Let's see what SiNister have in CCTV, shall we?
Oh yes, we shall. I'm quite curious though to see how the whole defense of the upstairs will pan out compared to how August did it, because this definitely seems like a much more simplistic version of it.
Yep.
Having just a fair few just breached it out for the time being, essentially.
They can bide their time, that's for sure. But once the information is then translated, I'm sure it will be easy enough to counter. Wait and see. Now, Arnie, who was the previous Capitao, I believe, who was holding from that angle, would be watching for that at the very least, and it's quite aggressive in toward the position of Garage. No one near him though, not just yet.
Correct. Now, the whole squad of SiNister will be just keep holding steady and for themselves as the breach will be coming out. The Luna won't be able to deny it, and unfortunately for SiNister, this will be meaning that the breach is now there, and Luna will need to start improvising very soon and bail out as quickly as possible. They'll manage to dodge the bullets though, so this will be meaning that she will be able to live for another half a round to see some action for herself.
Now, how important is this that Arnie holds on towards Garage? Because it, again, nullifies that position that can be then used. And they will have to funnel in through a different position, but they already, of course, have that open like you were touching on before. Imorin coming back down from the porch if he does have that support. That's Capitao with an interesting angle. Oh, that could be massive. That might actually flush him out of position. We'll wait and see. It does not burn early enough, or close enough, I should say. And Arnie can still hold that pressure nice and tight. Is now starting to drone on out to get the early info. He does find that Doc is still in that closer engagement. And they might be able to pinch him in here. 50 seconds, and again, that time will start to run thin.
Oh, the grenade does fly out, but it will be forcing Arnie just to move a little bit. Imorin, unfortunately, does go down to the hands of the Team SiNister player, so it is a 4 versus 5 as Arnie keeps on just chugging all that damage, but will be able to out-heal himself. Like you said, timing is running very low, and it seems that August are a little bit lost on how they want to approach. Arnie picks up a kill onto Derby, but not before Diesel will be able to finally trade him out. So that's control of the garage, but at a such gigantic expense, which at this point means that the push needs to be extremely swift. C4 coming out, talking about swiftness, will be able to get the better of him. And Neo goes in for the push. 3 seconds left to go. Another C4 comes out, but the plant needs to be stuck right now. Luna will be getting the better of Neofighter, and just like that, the poor August remaining player will be overwhelmed by all the pressure.
Yeah, you gotta, I don't know, I feel like we gotta give a lot of respect to Arnie there for holding on the garage for so long. You know, just ensuring that there was no real play to come on through, and the C4 to come through. The flooring was quite large at the very least. So we do head across toward gym and bedroom now, polar opposite sides West instead of east, but still second floor. There we go. There's the adaptation from August. We pick up the Monty on Ethan.
Monty on Ethan is definitely a peculiar one, as usually you would see Ethan in a bit of a more of a fragging role rather than having him playing on the shield operator. But for this particular side, this could be a good idea, considering the fact that Fisho is so far being an absolute mad lad with the dual digits for himself. But I also got the whole second half is raising questions for me. Could this be the fact that August are not entirely prepped for Clubhouse, and they kind of tried to get as many rounds as possible for themselves on the defense so that they would have some room for error on offense? Or is it just the sick plays of SiNister that are just leading to them winning those overs?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept, right? Because, I mean, right now we're never going to know, I guess, at the basis of it all. We won't know, but you know, with speculating, I do feel like there is a very high chance that maybe their attacking side just isn't, as you were saying, as prepared as what we would have liked to expect. So time again will tell. It is such a beautiful thing, but devastating as well as it has been for August in the past 2 rounds. Time just running way too thin. The breach charges of Derpe are going to well and truly nullify Castle's barricades, meaning makes it a little bit easier for them at this point.
Yeah, now we do have a unfortunate need for a rehost, as there was a couple technical issues. I believe the rehost did get approved, but as it stands, yeah, SiNister will need to leave for the rehost. 3-5 so far being the scoreline. Yeah, and so far it seems that SiNister have a very good defense prepped up.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to August, it's not as coordinated. It's not even that. It just feels that SiNister very much basing off their very impulsive plays rather than compared to August, where they seem to have a very structured, a very
straight on into the matchup. Of course, round number 9, Cthulhu.
Yes, very much of a round number 9. So far, Team SiNister had a very quality streak going for themselves. 2 rounds in a row of their defense have been successful at denying August to gain any more points, whereas August are 2 points away from getting that sweet W.
The dub. The first dub of their matchup tonight, of course, that they are hunting for. It looks like we are going to see a 6 pick for Castle. And all is well, I hope. I don't like that phrase in chat.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Action live. So, we were at Garage. We were down the bottom first. We are now up the top after CCTV was correctly picked and successfully taken. What are we feeling for Jim?
I mean, Jim could potentially have the similar success if SiNister will be able to deny one of the upcoming areas, being either the cache or CCTV or Garage, as well as they did whilst defending their previous site.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to the positioning, how they have for Bandit over here, where Imorin before on the first half was able to very eloquently pull off the defense, this one can get thwarted very quickly if Zephyr will be alive. Because you use one Zephyr charge on that castle barricade, the second one on that ballistic shield. That's it. Bandit doesn't have any cover to deny the breach. Get the breach going, off you go.
There you go. That's some hot fire knowledge coming in for you. If anyone's watching right now, take some notes. I mean, I'm definitely not taking notes right now because I already knew that 100%.
Oh, definitely.
No one, don't question it, please. Anyway, straight on into round number 9, guys. We do see the Monty making first point of contact. It's actually Derpe that finds the kill on the Copper, so a very nice start for August as they do drop that Jaeger, but dare say all ADSs have been deployed, and Ethan's just putting out the feelers into cash.
Yeah, and just as that one as well, Vicious is on the prowl and ready to go for the Blancarino just from below, and it will be up to Diesel to actually try to deny any of that mess.
This is going to be quite dangerous for Alibi right now, because the second that they decide to open that up, can Vicious come up to support? No, Vicious is actually going to go all the way back around the long rotate toward what looks to be the side. I feel like she might be caught in here for a second, Alibi. I don't know whether Arnie's going to be able to do anything to fight her way out of this one. There we go. It starts to open up, and Arnie does make it out in time. However, the angle might have been held for a second. Not a second longer, though. And with that, another kill going the way of August.
Indeed, with Neofighter managing to get the revenge on Arnie, will be allowing August to push through, but right now it's all on Vicious really, as Luna and Fisher just need to keep holding their angles to allow Vicious to go for that very eloquent push, because he's tempted. You can see the man is tempted, and if he will be able to play his cards right, he will be able to get it. And just as I say that, Fisher guy is the next one who gets it.
And now got to be careful, of course, from that top side with Emma Rin starting to open up, putting and applying continued pressure, but how is that from Fisher guy managing to find another kill? And, well, fair enough. Vicious is just going to go ahead and steal the downed player with that C4. Emma Rin obviously not really wanting to give away the position, trying to shoot on through. So there's the nade to come through. Nicely timed, but no one there to receive it. A nice push to come through from Neo's rather.
Yeah, Imorin will be getting the better of Luna, and there's all up to Vicious to try to cause up one nice flick, but Neofighter won't be having any of that noise, as Orlus will be taking this round for themselves. They are on match point now, ladies and gentlemen, with Team SiNister 3 points away from pushing it into overtime.
So here's the question. Was it all
like
planned by
yes.
was it all planned by August? Was this all a ruse to throw off SiNister? Did August run around and implement the mouse bug?
No, I definitely would not say that was a ruse by any means. SiNister did manage to show a couple of very good plays, as well as just some good prowess, but at this point, it's just the fact how August approached that push, which was just essentially you just douse the single push with as much of a manpower as you can get, and eventually it'll break. So that's exactly what they pulled off.
Not much else to go with it. It is going to be some renovations being made down into Ward Church, which was highly successful the last time that SiNister played their defense there. And August, not so much, although we might have expected it to be a little bit more explosive. There wasn't really too much to show for it. Anything weird in the picks are all pretty relative. Looks like there's nothing too out of the ordinary.
Would definitely agree with you on that, Manic, as looking at the whole setup is definitely sounds like we might be seeing potentially a 3-man roam featuring Copper, Arnie, and Vicious for the next Fire mixtape, but that's still yet to be found out if that would be the actual case, because Copper is the potentially first person to try to respond on the aggression.
So, will Pulse be looking for the deny on that charge into the hatch? Wait and see. For now, just making some nice little melee holes. And there we go. Was that? Yep, that was the deny. Well, maybe not the deny, but it was a deny. with Neophyter going down early. They have to reset and maybe look at a different take.
Yeah, with Neophyter now off the board, it is definitely going to be a little bit of a harder moment to pull off. Considering the fact that Neophyter's utility was would have been quite useful in the final pushes, as his concussion grenades just occasionally just enough to disorient some players.
And that will be Emo trying to find some different angles, and information now being gained will just be caught out slightly, and now they might be able to work off the back of that. Ethan looking to clear out the close side of Church. I think that Habana was close by to go for that duo open again. The support of Ethan, so there you go. First hole being made. Fishoguy can probably hold on to this one at this point. It depends on how Habana will approach it. But again, a minute down, there's been no real progression made bar the murder holes, as there's no player dropped on the side of SiNister.
Indeed, but Imorin so far is making some good progress in through the oil pit, as I don't think his position has been yet revealed, as Ethan is now starting to make some progress. There we go, there is that crossfire by Imorin, but Fishoguy will be able to straight away fall back onto Derpe. Just like that, it is a 3 versus 4, make it 3 versus 3, as Ethan will be getting finally Fishoguy. But with 26 seconds left, time is running very low and things are not looking all well whatsoever for August, as Diesel will now need to make the final hurdle, as Arnie, oh, nice shot onto Ethan, will be able to deny it, but the planet will need to be stuck as the push will be coming out. Vicious gets the better of Imorin, it is all up to Diesel, but he will be traded out straight away. Church will be going into the hands of Team SiNister.
Yeah, the second Capital drops there on the moto position. That's pretty much all done and dusted. The long line being held, and there's no one to ensure that they can't push down into Church without the punishment to come through. It looked really good for August for a second there. They had everything that they really needed. They had Blue Room control, they had Church, and also the smoke that was up from Capital. However, they had not previously cleared it, and it's always going to be the problem.
Indeed. Going into the gym and bedroom, that site was a bit of a issue for Team SiNister's defense, albeit that Fishoguy was doing quite some good work off August's squad. But I'm quite curious to see how different will the approach be, because this time SiNister are now going to bring a castle for the way how they were planning to play it out, rather bring in favor of a Valkyrie for this one. So they will be emphasizing a little bit more on the info gathering with Valkyrie, Echo, and to a certain point Legion. So could be quite interesting to see how well will they play their cards, because those 3 operators can be a gigantic pain. Luna, come on, you can do it. You can place that barricades sometime soon. Well.
Now, the question is, do SiNister have it in them to send it to OT? We do head back to Gym, where we saw the previous fail, the only fail so far for this entire first half for SiNister. So will they fix their previous mistakes, Cthulhu? That's the question.
That would be a very much of a hard question, as SiNister do have the talent in them to fix those issues. It would also be a big question as to if August can also see if they can find some flaws in SiNister's defense and play off that, as this could very much be the combination of the two, that SiNister is playing very well and emphasizing on the issues that August had, and August playing not sufficiently enough.
Does that deny it in time? Looks like it'll deny a small portion of it, and from underneath it was Emorin that was starting to clear out the positioning. Unfortunately, it was maybe half a second earlier, and this looks like a very similar fashion from previously. It looks like Neo has been able to take out a flanker in Fishergite, and where is the body? That is the real question, and where did the shots come from? Interesting. We'll wait and see for that one, Cthulhu.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly also missed that shot from Neofighter, but nonetheless, it's still a good start. Albeit that already more than half a round is already gone. And Fisher Guy, the man who was actually doing quite some hefty amount of fragging, is gone off the board as well. There's still Arnie, who has been doing quite a solid amount of work on the Orgulus squad. And seeing as Vicious already gets the better of Imorin, things might be looking a little bit grim.
Yeah, Ethan's looking to clear out. Fair bit of pressure now being placed. The Fighter's waiting. It's Derpe that shuts down Luna. This is all going to come down to 30 seconds, and whether SiNister can push it a further round. This is the exact point in time that it started to fall apart, and it's happening again. Neofighter managing to take down Arnie. It's going to be the wild C4 being thrown up on top of the ceiling, and they can't capitalize on it yet. But Vicious does have a line. He might be able to deny the plant, but he will have to lose his life if he wants to go for it. It looks like he's read it perfectly, but doesn't make a difference. Neofighter picking up a third in the round, and Copper, mate, yeah, he knows. He knows. He knows. Yeah, it is an inevitable end, unfortunately, and they can just pretty much sit there and wait it out. It is going to be the kill to come in from Ethan in the end. And ladies and gentlemen, map number 1 going in the favour of Orgulus.
A fantastic performance at the end by Orgulus, as that was just a phenomenal showcase. And even from SiNister, that team showed some good prowess. They had good ideas about how to approach the defense, how to approach